In this video, we will show how CloudVyzor LogPad can help with searching Microsoft Azure logs. Microsoft Azure generates several types of logs. The main types are activity logs, diagnostics logs, storage logs, Azure AD logs, and virtual machines logs. To store and analyze these types of logs, Microsoft Azure provides two main options. Option 1, ingest logs into Azure Log Analytics service. Option 2, export logs to Azure Blob storage. As you can see, these options are fundamentally different in terms of cost and retention capabilities. Azure Log Analytics is 100 times more expensive than the Blob storage. Also, it can retain logs for no more than 2 years. Let's analyze the cost for the company that the Azure subscription generates 100 gigabytes of logs per day. As we can see, the cost of using Azure Log Analytics can be significant. Companies may need balancing between these two options. For example, they may enable Azure Log Analytics for the critical resources only. For other resources, they may export logs to Blob storage. Let's see how easily you can start doing it. Let's configure Azure Activity Logs to be forwarded to the Blob storage. Go to Azure Monitor. Click on Activity Logs. Click Export to Event Hub. Check Export to the storage account. Choose the storage account for the log export. Note that if the retention period is set to 0, the logs will be kept forever and can be cleaned up manually. The current problem with this approach is that the logs stored this way are not easily searchable. They are stored as JSON files. The containers get created per subscription, year, month, day, and hour. Then, one or more JSON files with logs are stored per hour. It is quite difficult to search these files in the interactive way, using the native tools. You may say that these logs can be viewed natively in the Azure portal. This is true, but for last 90 days only. When storing logs to the Blob storage, you can keep them for years. But how can I do the interactive search through the logs put onto the Blob storage? This is where CloudVyzor LogPad comes in rescue. Let's connect to any virtual machine in your Azure tenant and install CloudVyzor LogPad quickly. Go to cloudvyzor.com website and download the self-hosted version. Note that the size of the installation package is just 2.5 megabytes. After you install CloudVyzor LogPad web server, the web application will be launched automatically. Now simply create the new database. Choose the option of connecting to the external data source. In Azure Portal, go to the storage account that keeps Azure logs, and copy the shared access signature. Paste the shared access signature into the data source connection string. Also, copy the name of the root blob container that stores logs, and add it to the connection string. Now, you are all set and ready to search logs. Congratulations! Note that it took you 3 minutes to enable export of logs to the Blob storage. Install CloudVyzor LogPad and start searching. Now let's figure out how to store and search Azure AD logs. Let's go to Azure Active Directory Audit Logs, and add the log export settings. Check Archive to a storage account checkbox and specify the storage account name. Also, check the types of logs to be archived. Now, if we go back to our storage account, we can see the new container with Azure AD Logs has been created. Let's search it with CloudVyzor LogPad. Let's copy the same shared access signature. Then, let's create the new database and use the same SAS, but for the different container. Now we are all set. You now can search the archived logs from your Azure Active Directory. Note that it took you 30 seconds to start exporting Azure AD Logs to Blob storage. And start searching them with CloudVyzor LogPad. In this video, we explained how easily you can export Azure Logs to Blob storage, and search them with CloudVyzor LogPad. It makes sense, because it is simple and inexpensive. The logs can be stored for many years and still be searchable. CloudVyzor LogPad is the right solution for the organizations that need keeping Azure logs for several years and have them searchable. Thank you for watching, and welcome to register at www.cloudvyzor.com.